Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, man. It's that time of the month again, the top 3 baits for the month of April. And I've got some like really unique baits this month. Like these are cool baits. These are some baits that I don't think you've had in your arsenal, at least a couple of them. And don't forget, man, this whole video series is sponsored by Plano. We're gonna put all the baits right here in this box and mail them to 3 of you subscribers. So all you've gotta do is leave a comment, be a subscriber, like my video, and let's go right to last month's winners. We just went on there, my camera guy went on there and randomly picked 3 people, and we've got Eugene. You said it's hard to beat a red crankbait. Thank you for all the knowledge that you share. You're welcome, Eugene. Thank you for being a subscriber and leaving that comment. I've got a Plano box like this coming with last month's baits in it for you. I've got Ernie Derboven, D-E-R-B-O-V-E-N. Edwin, look forward to all your videos, very informative, and you tell me exactly how to use these baits. Thanks for the info, and look forward to the next video. Buddy, you've got a box coming for you, and we got Sea Roller 28, Class Act Fisherman, thanks for the tips. All 3 of you guys, just send me an email through my website, real simple, with your address, and I will get these boxes out to you from last month. Thanks a lot for playing along. For you guys watching this video, how you can win one of these with these baits in it that we're going to talk about, leave me a comment, be a subscriber, hit that like button, and we'll go through there randomly like we do each month and pick a winner. So with that said, what are we sticking in this Plano Edge box this month? These are cool boxes, by the way. I really, really like them. All right, when I think of April, I think like everything, everywhere. Bass are spawning. Like they are spawning. Like they're spawning all the way up in Missouri. They're still spawning down at Lake Falcon in Texas. I mean, they are spawning. Like it's still happening. Yeah, there's probably a lot more that have got done spawning down south, but they're still spawning. So I think about bass garden fry. I think about shad spawn. I think about fish feeding. I think about one of the best times of the year to get out fishing, you know. Something else I want to bring up with that said is the Bass Pro Shops World Fishing Fair is taking place in Springfield, and it's the 50th anniversary. It's going to be a huge, huge event there in Springfield, Missouri. All the pros, like all of them are there doing seminars. I'll be there for 3 or 4 days. So the dates for that's March 30th through April 3rd. I think I'll be there almost every day doing seminars. I got all kinds of stages, all kinds of sales. If you guys are anywhere in and around and you want to go to one of the biggest fishing expos ever, Bass Pro does one right. They're bringing the World's Fishing Fair back. There'll be tents in the parking lots, all kinds of people there. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you guys are in the area, I want to invite you to come. That's going to be happening next week, so you guys get you some tickets, get in your car, head that direction. All right, so with that said, the month of April, I think about fish spawning. I think about the post-spawn bass garden fry. I think about a shad spawn. And one of the best baits for all these scenarios is swimming a jig, you know. And right here, Berkley has got a brand new swim jig out. They've got a finesse swim jig and they've got a regular swim jig. We'll get off into the differences of when I throw each. What's really cool about this swim jig is it's got that Berkley power bait scent in the skirt. It's you know, not just a smell on the bait that you would rub on it, it'd rub off. It's in the skirt. It's like a Berkley power bait skirt. So like when you're throwing the Berkley, you know, football jig or a regular jig that you're actually letting it sit there for a minute, I think it's going to be a one added factor to get me more bites. Now obviously with a swim jig, I'm probably not, you know, slowing that thing down enough for them to smell it. That's the beauty of a swim jig. I'm able to cover water. So what I've got for you guys, I've got the Bobby Lane Special Color. And what that is black, blue, and purple. To me, this represents a bluegill really, really good. You know, that purple belly. I'm gonna throw this in dark, dirty, muddy water. I'm gonna swim this down the sides of docks. I'm gonna swim it behind docks. I'm gonna swim it down laydowns. Anywhere I think bass would be, you know, possibly having their fry, you know, I'm gonna swim it in all those areas. And this is gonna represent a bluegill coming through those areas. And it's just a great bait in the month of April. Now, if the shad spawn's going on, you know, like in your part of the country or in my part of the country, it happens a little bit later in April. You know, the other color I'd have on is just a white one, just with a white swimming trailer on it. I'm going to throw the 1/4 ounce, like when I need to keep that bait up high, I want to work it a little slower in colder water, and then I'll get bigger in my swim jigs as I need to go faster or maybe get it deeper or the cover gets heavier. I use the finesse swim jig like this one on just straight fluorocarbon, 20-pound fluorocarbon a lot of times. I'll go with the regular swim jig with the heavier wire hook and heavier cover with braids. So like dock fishing, down a laydown, making longer casts, go with the finesse wire. In this pack right here, I've got the finesse jig with you guys, but super excited about this, to be able to tell you guys about this. It's a bait you need to have tied on, a swim jig this time of the year, either a black and blue one, green pumpkin one, or a white one. You're just either representing a bluegill or a shad this time of the year, and man, it's just a great bait. You know, really, it's gonna be tied on for a long time to come, like even through the next few months. If you're fishing shallow any, a swim jig's a great bait to have tied on. So we're gonna have those in that box. Somebody's gonna win those baits right there. All right, the next bait, still going on bass guarding fry, is gonna be like a floating worm. You know, we all say floating worms are not really floating worms. What they are is bright colored worms. And the ones that I wanted to talk to you about are these straight money worms. And what I like about these is they're bigger. Like they're just big, fat worms. They've got a lot of weight to them. They're bright. I can put that with a 5/0 hook, put a swivel right up here, skip that back in laydowns, under docks, and just twitch that thing out like you would a jerk shad or you know, twitching whatever you do, you twitch on top of the water. This thing's just twitching through the water. It's bright, it's obnoxious, and man, just bass come up and eat it. It's just a bait this time of the year that I have tied on in and around when bass are spawning, guarding their fry. I got 3 different colors here. I've got the Morning Dawn Silver, I've got the Margarita Red, and then I've got just the Chartreuse Shad, Skeet's Chartreuse Shad. You know, just all of them are bright colors, you know, kind of obnoxious colors. These are things that I'm gonna throw, you know, in fairly clean, clearish water. You know, you can have some visibility in your water, you know, some dingy water, you know, that's when it'll still work, but it's really a bait that fish feed on by sight. So cleaner, clearer water. It's a bait that I have tied on all the month of April, in and around when bass are spawning, guarding those fry. You keep it up in the top of the water column, you know, pause it, then twitch it around, and those bass completely come unglued on it. All right, last, another brand new bait that I'm excited to show you guys. We did a Project E episode. I'll have a link here on it that you guys can go back and watch how I fished this bait. But man, it's a swim bait. It's a gilly is what it is. And this thing is so cool. When those bass are spawning, and you know, maybe you've got a swim jig, you've got a floating worm, this is another bait right along those things. You just rig it weedless with a Texas rig hook. It goes right there in the side. I've got a whole video series on it, and this thing just swims right along the top of the water. You can just swim it, and it just got an awesome action. They come unglued on it. When that bass is there spawning and they see this bluegill come swimming through the water, man, they eat it big time. They got 3 different sizes of this thing. They've got a 90, a 110, and a 130. I really like the bigger sizes. You know, I have not used the 90 much. I feel like I'm gonna use that more probably drop shotting when I'm sight fishing. That's the 90. My package fell down. That's the 110. And then the 130s, it looks big, but when you think about, you know, a 3, 4, 5 pound bass, that's not a big bluegill for, you know, that size bass to eat. This size actually works the best. It skips like a dream back up underneath docks. Again, I like rigging it down the side just where I can wind it in, and that thing just comes swimming in, real natural action. But that's the gilly. That's the bait that I didn't think you might have tied on this April. It's really realistic. It works really well in clean, clear water. When those fish are up spawning, I like it. It's a bait that, if you see my boat in April at a tournament and the conditions are right for that, I'm gonna have that bait tied on, and it's gonna be a good one. I'm gonna have that one probably on a drop shot. You know, I haven't really tried swimming that one yet, so it's something I need to experiment with. But those are my 3 baits. That's my baits for the month of April, guys. I hope that piqued your interest a little bit. I hope that maybe stirred your brain to maybe tie something else on that you might have forgot about. You know, don't forget about top waters. Don't forget about the popper, a frog. You know, obviously you get in that stained, dingy water. You always have that spinnerbait tied on, that vibrating jig, that square bill crankbait. But these are some baits that maybe you didn't think about that I wanted you to think about for the month of April. I hope this helps you guys. Be sure you leave me a comment so you have a chance to win these baits and that Plano box. And hit that like button. We'll see you guys next week.